الله. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Mind Heist episode, damn, 118, 117.
118, I think.
Okay. The last one was really good, I think. Did you listen to it?
Of course I didn't listen to it. I mean,
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry. I will do, inshallah, as soon as I can.
What was that? Yeah, that was 117, so there's 118, yeah. And this episode is sponsored by the Confidence Accelerator.
Accelerator.
So Mohammed Arshad, who a lot of you might have heard, he did a couple episodes with us, and he's my business partner, but also he does this thing called the Confidence Accelerator. And I know Mohammed as someone who's I've been working with him, but also he kind of, as we've been working together, he kind of coached me through a few things. For example, just realizing certain things I guess I'm good at and I'm not so good at, and pushing me also in certain directions. And being someone quite a few years older than me, it's always good to hear that from someone like that. So what Mohammed has done is he's taken all his coaching experience and his communications experience. And when I say communication experience, I mean he coached Muhammad Hijab on how to speak publicly. He coached people like Hamza Zorsis and Abdurrahim Green and people like that, because he was working in IERA in the very early days. And so he was fully into this, helping with the communications element. So what he's done is he's created a program which includes him coaching you to firstly help you with your confidence, right? So get the confidence on point, and obviously that would include, I guess, a lot of mindset work, which he's done with me as well a lot of the time. And then the second element is, after you become more confident, you learn how to communicate clearly. And the third element then is, once you can communicate clearly, that sets you up to impact, right? To have impact. So I think a lot of the listeners who are interested in having impact in the world, maybe they feel confidence is getting in the way, maybe they feel their communication is getting in the way, then this is something to definitely check out. So just go to muslimmastery.com/mind. I'll put a link, of course, in the description, and you can see if it's right for you. You just go over there, inshallah. I just realized I don't have my high quality sound turned on. So yes, bro, with this episode, we're gonna do, what did I say it was called? Favorite things? Good things? Best things?
All of the above, akhi.
Yeah, okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through a few of our favorite things or whatever from the past year.
Things.
So we didn't actually set up what we're gonna exactly cover, so we might have different categories, I guess. So what's your first category?
I covered the ones that you sort of mentioned, and then I did a few extra because I realised it wasn't enough. You can go first, akhi. You go first. You know, you're older than me. You're wiser than me.
Okay, my first one was favorite episode that we did.
Hey.
So I was looking through the episodes, and I kind of got to pick 79, of course.
Oh, bro, that's exactly the one I picked, bro.
Well, it makes sense.
Only because we've literally it's just maybe 20 days away from it being a year.
12 months, yeah. So I put 79 with Sharif, where he talked about moving to the country, moving out to the country, from Medina, surprisingly, to set up his own farm out there in New Mexico, right? And it was just pure curiosity, me asking him, okay, how many chickens do you need? How's this work? How does that? And since then, I think he's done a lot. He did another episode with us after that, but this one was, a classic, right? Did you have any others honorable mentions?
I had the one we did a few weeks ago, the taboo subjects one. That one went on.
Yeah.
That was quite a long episode, but I think we spoke about some stuff that we spoke about stuff that I've never really come across Muslims, any Muslim sort of media or whatever speaking about it. Maybe out of lack of that sort of experience or that sort of, I don't know. I think there's still a lot of taboo, as we say, and it's not an open subject. But
yeah,
I think it's worth listening to if you haven't listened to it already, because we're not trying to be edgy or trying to be sort of controversial, but I think it just dawned upon us that we haven't seen anything that anyone speaking about it. And I'm not saying there isn't anyone speaking about it, I just haven't come across it personally. But I think being aware of some of the social ills in society that we kind of brush under the rug, and that are a threat to our community and a threat to our children, etc. Got to be aware of it, not to spread fear and hopelessness into the ummah, but to just be alert and be somewhat on guard, and things to look out for, because we can easily sleepwalk through society, can't we, and not necessarily take precautions where necessary. I mean, you have to tie a camel in a certain way. So yeah, just that one was quite good, and I'm sure there's others, but those are the two. I mean, I was going to pick the taboo subjects one, thinking it was the only one within 12 months that I kind of remember quite well. But then I was like, let me check 79 again. Has it been a year? Has it not? And I was like, oh, it's just under. But yeah, man, may Allah bless Sharif. It was a really good episode. I'd love to have him back on again. I think for both of us, we had genuine curiosity there. Sometimes I know of podcasts that will bring guests on because they just need a guest for that week. You know what I mean? And I think the good thing about Mind Heist is that we don't
get guests.
We don't get guests, but not just that. Not just that. We're not reliant on guests, so we're not scrambling for people every week. And if we find someone genuinely interesting and genuinely good, then we're like, oh yeah, let's have them on. Not that we've had too many, but yeah, definitely. So hey, if you want more guests, if you have people in mind, I mean, I've got a few. I mean, actually, I put out an Instagram post the other day on the Mind Heist Instagram post, which I've neglected this week. Oh my god! But then again, I've been all over the gaff. But yeah, one of the high mentions was Mufti, bro. They want Mufti on the Mind Heist, Akhi.
I was just gonna say, I've always thought about getting Mufti on, and I would say definitely we can do it, but my wife was saying, get Mufti, and I was like, what do I even have to ask Mufti?
Oh, this is it.
But I did it eventually. I came up with a kind of topic.
For me, I would say, I'm not trying to make exclusives or raise people higher than what they are, but 90% of the time, if I'm listening to anybody on YouTube, it's Mufti, right? And because of that, he's put so much content out that he's covered all bases of anywhere anything that I'm interested in. He's already sort of spoken about it. I've already listened to it, right? In fact, a couple of days ago, I put up a playlist that I was going through the Hadith Disciple channel, and I really love the Jummah khutbahs, right? Jummah khutbah that he does always hits me hard. And I was like, I want to listen to this. I just want to listen to all of these all the time. And then I found that on his channel he had a playlist of 300 khutbahs, so whenever they do a khutbah they put it up there, and I was like, alright, that's it, I'm done for the year, I'm good to go. I was like, 300 khutbahs, I'm fine. But yeah, no, I think if we wanted to bring Mufti on, we'd have to really we'd have to plan it, because he's obviously going to be a busy guy, and I would want to make the most out of the episode and get the not just throw questions at him, but just have a really solid discussion, ideally in the Mind Heist way, from an angle that isn't necessarily had before. So we'd have to plan it, bi'idhnillah. But we shall see. Inshallah.
The second, the runner-up I put was episode 90. I feel like we didn't get... I just remember I uploaded that on YouTube at the wrong time, right? And that one's the one with Muhammad, and it's about confidence, believers' confidence versus ego confidence. And I don't know, I guess I just like the topic, and just thought it was loads of benefit in it. So I enjoyed that one. But I remember when I uploaded on YouTube, I used to upload it at a certain time, and that one I just uploaded it whenever. and the numbers didn't do as well. I was like, damn, this was a really good one. But I guess audio wise, it would have been similar. So that was a good one. And then also I thought the addiction one we did recently was really good as well.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah.
Maybe that's just because it's like it's a topic fresh in my mind and stuff like that. So that was my first favorite episode we did. What was the next on your list now?
In terms of topic. Right, so first episode, I had best purchase.
Okay.
And I spoke about this already. I spoke about my Apple Watch.
Yes.
And I know, like, do you know what? I hate myself for making that the best purchase, because it's like I went from one end of the spectrum to the other.
Yeah.
I went from like, oh, these things are useless, what's the point, to, oh, this is like the best thing I've got in ages. And it's not because of the product, but it's because of what it's done to make me conscious of my health and general well-being, but mainly just health, right? So it's with it has come a lot of other things that, you know, you don't need an Apple Watch to do, such as like tracking certain things. So I'm like calorie counting now, and I've been doing that for like I started before Ramadan, and then during Ramadan I did it for about half of Ramadan before I kind of, I don't know, I the second half of Ramadan I just wanted to focus on Ramadan. I wasn't really too fussed about the calories and all that stuff. But now I'm back on it, alhamdulillah. And just, I know it's not necessarily tied to the Apple Watch. I mean, it is on the Apple Watch, but I'm using my phone. But it ties into like the fitness side of things, the calories burned, the how much steps you've done, you know, tracking all your exercises, etc., etc. To the point where it's like, it just reminds you, you look and you're like, oh, you know what, I've hardly walked today, or I've hardly done this today. Right, let me see if I can do something. You know, let me park the car far away, or let me get off at this bus stop and walk a bit further. And because we said about the gamification, I've got, alhamdulillah, about maybe 3. I've got my cousin and a couple of other brothers that are on here that we're all sort of, you know, we can all see what each other's done that day, right? And it's like, oh, one of my friends is now taking it quite seriously. And I'm like, oh, every single time he finishes a workout, it pings me, and it'll be like 11 o'clock at night. I'm in bed and it's pinging me like I'm like, right, he's out there putting in the work, you know. Yeah, like the other day, I was quite sort of raring to go, and I must have walked from here to the masjid in town, which is about 6 miles, and my foot is really aching me still from that. But just seeing those numbers at the end of that, I was like, oh, that's amazing. The satisfaction was great, because I feel like, yes, I'm making progress. So yeah, the gamification of it is really powerful. That's the main reason I'm into it. All the other features, you know, phone calls and all of this and all of that. I mean, there's loads of features, but I'm not really using all of those. But you know, I found something that benefited me, and inshallah, it's been quite a while now. I've been tracking it. I haven't sort of, you know, with things like this, it can be quite a novelty, and then in the first couple of weeks, you're not interested anymore, and you kind of get bored of it. But I'm still very much looking at it and like, okay, I need to do something today. I need to do something tomorrow. I need to do something next week. So, how about you, bro? Have you got anything on that list? Have you got any best purchases?
I did, yeah.
Ooh.
And I felt like there was something missing, but what I put so far is my standing desk that I bought.
Yeah.
Because again, it's kind of like what you're saying. It could have been a fad for me. It could have been where I get it and then I end up just sitting. And even then, I suppose it would be good because it's like a big desk, and it's always good to have a big desk that you're working at. But I've been standing, you know. I've been standing, you know. My wife said the other day, like, I was gonna tell you, oh, my feet are aching from standing up all day. Then I realized yours are also gonna be like that because you're standing up all day.
Oops, you opened a door there, akhi.
And sometimes that is the reality where I most days I stand until 4 or 5 p.m. But some days I just stand all day, so I'll never sit. And when I say, yeah, I guess I usually finish work around 5, but then sometimes I still stay at the desk, but I just still stay standing. And It's good, bro. The other day I did a webinar standing up, much better, right? I've done calls standing up, much better. It just, I guess it unlocks your body to just move in a more natural way, and somehow like your energy kind of can flow a bit better, more naturally, whatever. And like, I don't know how people, for example, speak without using their hands, you know. Surely it makes a difference. So yeah, standing desk makes me feel just better. I don't know exactly what it does for me, but it makes 100% sense. And I didn't pay too much for it. I think it's expensive out here compared to what you can find in the UK. But it was approximately like £140. But it's a big desk and it's got like 10-year warranty and all of that.
Wow.
So
some people take that very seriously. I know when I was at work, there was superior sort of staff members that would demand having a standing desk, and they'd have one in their office, and they're just standing there all night. On a night shift, they'll be there standing at the desk all the time, and they've raised it all the way up here, so they're not tempted to sort of get a chair and stuff. Tying into the Apple Watch, that's what the third thing that it tracks. So on the exercise thing, it tracks movement, which is like steps and general movement. Exercise, which is workouts and stuff that you track, and then standing. So I don't know how it tracks standing, because mine just says, I mean, you can change it, but it says I've stood up 2 hours out of 6 or something like that, but I haven't, because I've been in bed. So it's not always 100% accurate, but I'm sure like the majority of the standing you do, it's going to notice. But yeah, if it's something you're serious about, and I'm sure the benefits are there for anyone to see.
Yeah, I mean, the main health problems is sitting, especially in a bad posture for long periods of time. And the standing just stops you doing that. So you don't want to be standing in the exact same way for the whole time. But by the very fact that you're standing, you're not going to be in the same thing. Like sometimes I'll be standing, yeah, and I'll be just leaning forward, like in a bad, quote unquote bad posture. But how long am I going to stay like that? I don't stay like that long. Sometimes, like I said, I've been on calls, I've been pacing, right? Like because it's standing and I'm standing, I can just I'm like talking and I'm like kind of walking side to side. Sometimes I get the chair. I have a chair here under the desk, and I just rest one foot on it, put one foot, then change the foot. So it's just you're moving. That's the point of it.
I like that, bro.
Did you have any other purchases?
Oh God. God, has it been a year? It's a bit of I'm not much of a purchase guy. I mean, I have a few, but they're a bit selfish purchases, bro. I have a PlayStation 5. Okay.
So you put that up there, yeah?
I haven't put it up there, but I was thinking of it. But it's just like, am I proud of that purchase? I don't think I am. I'm proud I managed to get one before anyone else did, because I know everyone was like, and people are still to this day.
Yeah.
But like, it's nothing like cutting edge or, it looks nice. And the visuals of the stuff that you can get on it look nice, but it's not like, I don't feel like I've done a great job here. I'm benefiting from it. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to put stuff that I've benefited from, and I don't think I've benefited from it. Although I probably use my PlayStation and my TV more to watch stuff on YouTube than for anything else. That's it really. I can't think of anything else I've bought. I like that drone, but I didn't buy that drone. That was bought for my kids. No, I'm trying to think now. No, and then that's it really, Aki. I mean, it depends what kind of person you are, and I don't tend to spend money on physical things too often. But maybe that's a good thing, alhamdulillah. Maybe the dunya hasn't clutched me.
You know what? Come to think of it, I didn't think of these things, but because I'm like you, like I don't buy much stuff at all. One thing I want to mention, I sent you the book cover examples or options or this or that the other day.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good purchase. It's like one time I went to a studio to record something, like sound-wise, and it was just completely different to recording at home. It's just way better.
Yeah.
Right? The same goes with the graphic design. Just hire a graphic designer, and they just do a sick job because that's what they actually do for a living,
Yeah.
rather than me trying to play around with this and that. And so it feels so good when you just spend money on a professional. They get, you know, and then they do what they're professional at, and it comes out good. So that's a good purchase. And then, you know, obviously when I came here, I had to furnish the house, and I think overall, you know, I'm really happy with how I did it in terms of everything we got is like really good and really good price, and just overall good kind of value, if you like. So I think that, you know, when you're in a new country especially, you want to furnish your house quite quickly because, you know, you don't want to have a bare house and stuff. It's difficult. You tend to overpay, I suppose, but I don't think I did that at all, so alhamdulillah.
That's good, man.
Okay, what's next? Let me go to my one. My next was best thing I've learned.
Ooh.
Okay, this is the one I added. I guess I didn't share that one with you, right?
No, it's all right.
So the best thing I've learned is, what I put down, one clear thing for me is, even though I've been like very focused on business for how long? I don't know, 6 years, 7 years, 5 years, something like that. I'm still like learning new things. Like, it's kind of surprising you've been doing something. It's not just I've been doing it, I've been like learning about it for 5, 6, 7 years. But what I learned this year, I would say, is I learned that the fundamentals of a business have to like be good, and that's really what matters, like way more than your social media strategy, how good your posts are, how good your branding is, how good your design is. They're just the fundamentals of is there a real problem that people want to pay to solve, and then are you solving it well in a way they want it to be solved? And like literally, like that's 90% of business success. And I've, you know, I guess approaching business from a marketing point of view, I always think of how do I market, you know, how do I explain, communicate this in a sick way? But that's always going to be secondary to, is it something that people just want, and it's a problem, it solves a problem that people really want to solve? So that's like, it sounds simple, but really it's way more important than I thought before. So that's the first thing. Another thing, this is a funny one, or not funny, but maybe surprising. I feel like, I didn't mean to per se, but I learned a lot about cooking in the last year. Like the kind of how cooking works. Okay, so for example, if you put if you get loads of carrots, for example, and you put them in a frying pan and you fry them, that will have a different outcome to if you put a smaller amount in a wok, for example, at a very high heat. Okay. Yeah, and that's why stir fry tastes different to maybe when you try and do it at home, because the wok holds so much heat and it's on such a high heat, and you don't tend to put loads of carrots or whatever in at one time. What that allows to happen is that kind of actual frying. Whereas if you try at home and you don't understand this concept, you'll probably end up boiling the carrots, even though you're putting it into oil, but you don't have it hot enough. The pan is not a material that gets hot enough, and then you're crowding all the carrots together. They release liquid and they boil each other, right? So these kind of like details of how cooking actually happens and works, I feel like I've just learned that stuff passively. Like I do tend to watch cooking videos on YouTube now and then, so that's how I've picked it up. But I didn't intend to learn it, but I felt I learned about that.
I've learned something now. I'm thinking back to all the stir fries. If I ever do anything, it's a stir fry. But then I always think, because I'm cooking for like a family of 4, I'm always putting too much in there because I'm like, I need to feed everybody. And then, you know, alhamdulillah, it tastes good, but it's like, it could be better. It always could be better.
It's not quite like the restaurant, I guess.
No, it's not. And I think that's probably why. It's probably because I'm piling it all on into one big wok.
Well, that's why they've got a wok. They got big, I think they're either iron or steel wok. That's a material that holds a lot of heat, so it can get really hot. Obviously, they're generous with the oil as well. So, you know, this is This is interesting stuff, man. It actually makes a difference as well. Like, you know, as well, if you're trying to make a burger, you have to leave the burger for longer than you feel comfortable with, so it gets the Maillard reaction, which is the chemical reaction that happens that gives that flavor, you know, that burger kind of grill kind of flavor. You have to, you can't just leave it till it's cooked. You have to leave it till it gets that chemical reaction happening, and that changes the taste. So stuff like that.
MashaAllah, food scientist. I like this. Bro, it's all chemistry, Yahi.
It is.
It's science, you know. I speak to some brothers, they don't cook it. They've never cooked in their life, I don't think. You know, and it's like, come on, man, do something. Do something. Make a sandwich. SubhanAllah al-Azim. What have I learned? Let me think quick. Bro, you know what? It's going to sound really, what's the word? Oh, I don't know. It's not, it doesn't sound like it's a huge thing, but it is for me. Right, so, who was I with? I was with, what should I name him? I won't name him. Forget it, I won't name him. But he's a good brother, mashallah. And it was, where was it? A few weeks ago, we were just talking about the Quran and stuff, and I realised that North Africans have a problem with saying jim, right? So they will say je instead of je, right? I didn't know that at all, so I've always had that in me. And for years, akhi, with these brothers, I'll say dejel, or I'll say, and they'll just laugh, and I'm like, what are you laughing at? Like, I don't get it, you know, because they're not Arab and I am. So, well, I'm not Arab, but you know, I speak Arabic more, and I'm like, why are they laughing? Like, what's wrong? And it wasn't until, you know, we were reciting Quran that he sort of educated me, and it blew my mind, bro. Because for years I just didn't know, didn't have a clue, and then it just that day, bro. I don't know why, it's such a small thing, but I've been so conscious of it and so conscious trying to fix it that it's developed my sort of focus on Quran and focus on trying to better my tajweed. See, I always did it there. Tajweed. But everything I say, bro, you get me? Like, and it's really like, I don't know, like, I just, when I realised that, akhi, it sounds a bit silly, but like, instead of like looking at all these things that we look at all the time, you know, focus on all these like big problems, I'm like, rah, this little thing I didn't even know I had. Let me just sort this out. Let me sort these little things. And it made me like kind of comb over all these little things and little errors and little, you know what I mean? Like, all these potholes basically that I have in my life. I'm trying to sort of sort them out, and then it started extending into, you know, obviously we have the fitan that are happening in the world today, whether it's the Uyghurs in China, or at least Turkestan, and the Palestinians, and everywhere. And we spoke about it again and again and again, and we speak about it all the time. But just about that focus on bettering yourself and stuff. And I spoke to a brother the other day. I said to him, when the Syrian revolution happened, and unfortunately all the oppression that was happening there and still is happening, I was very, very angry with the world, right? And like, so angry with the world. And I know a lot of brothers were angry with the world. And unfortunately, some brothers' anger and emotion maybe took them to bad places and made them take bad decisions, right? But these days, I said to him, like, I'm more angry myself. I see something like that and I get so furious with myself because of my potholes, you know, because of the things. I just think it's fine. It's not a big deal. Or the complaints that I make. You know, I'll give you an example. If I had a list of bad purchases, I'll tell you about a bicycle I bought the other day. It was like last week. I bought this really discounted, like, on sale bike, foldable bike that I saw on some stupid website, and it's meant to like just fold, so it's like save space, and I could probably store it somewhere here. As soon as I got it, it was quite an impulse buy because the price was quite good, etc. Anyway, long story short, as soon as I got it, I took out the manual to assemble it, and it was clearly made in China. The vocabulary was all over the place, but like, there weren't really instructions. There were steps that were so vague. Like, one of them was like, put the wheel in. I was like, what do you mean put the wheel? Like, how? You know, be specific. How? Where does it go? Anyway, I lost my temper and I started looking online, and I realised this place has a huge number of negative reviews, all for the same reason. And then on top of that, the bike isn't safe. It's not up to safety standards. I realised like one of the bars are missing. So like a bike has more of a triangle shape like that. So it's got like it's connected both wheels. This one only had like 2, so it's missing one. So I was like, if I sit on this thing, it's gonna snap in half. Anyway, I got so frustrated, trying to get refunded, all this stuff happening, blah 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 blah, and I was lost my temper a little bit. And then, bro, you see something online, you see some oppression of some Muslims somewhere, and you just think, what is wrong with me? Like, I'm complaining about the most bloody shallow, basic, boring, pathetic stuff, and we all do it. We all lose our minds and lose our temper with some pathetic things, and it's like the complaining. I realise is that what I've learned the most this year is like our complaints are futile in comparison to other people's. What are we complaining about, bro? Look what we got. Like look behind me, akhi. Look at the blessings behind me right now. What am I doing? You understand? So it made me think. And quite as I was having this conversation with this brother, I need to mention this. Like we were sitting near East London Masjid, and bro, we're talking about Palestine. We're talking about the issue. We're talking about ourselves and the condition of the ummah. And on the right side, in front of us, across the road, there's a building with a huge it's like a Free Palestine or Solidarity with Palestine poster. Okay, and then right next to it, there's like a road in between, and then on the other side of the road there was a restaurant, and there's a big wedding going on, and outside the restaurant was a Rolls Royce parked out there, and I was just like really fascinated with that dichotomy. Not saying that it's haram to have good cars, etc. Of course not, but I just found the dichotomy really fascinating. How there was this huge poster of oppressions of Muslims, and then right next to it there was loads of Muslims around this Rolls Royce, and I was once again not saying it's bad to have that or wrong to have that, but I just found it fascinating that whilst we were talking about that, right in front of me was this sort of visual representation of extreme hardship and extreme luxury, and I was like, whoa, really weird.
You could even go down the haram thing, because on that same road I'm pretty sure there's an off-license Muslim owned
really?
Selling alcohol.
Yeah.
So,
and I think
once actually, not that main road, the one in front of East London, behind it, right behind East London Masjid, because I lived around there. One day at night time, I was walking on that road behind it, and there's a off license there. I think the guy, the brother there, is Muslim, selling alcohol, and out of his shop ran these Bengali kids. They stole alcohol from him, and they were running away from his shop. Right. And that's like, oh man, double cubed.
Yeah. Oh no.
May Allah forgive them.
Sin squared, bro.
Yeah.
No, I think there's been a bit of backlash with this rhetoric. I just want to talk about it briefly, but there's some people saying, no, it's not the time to talk about that. It's not the time to talk about our sins. We have to focus on those who are doing the oppression, etc. And I think we've focused on those doing the oppression for years. That's all we talk about, really, isn't it? Most of the rhetoric is that. So I think to just hold ourselves accountable and not get lost in what our condition is important, and it should always be important. It should always be on our minds, and you just have to. It's the only thing that can rationalize what's going on in the world. Is that if you read the Quran, you read what Allah Subhanahu wa Taala says, then you can rationalize the problem, and you can say, right, I am part of the problem. The problem is me. The ummah is me, and I am the ummah. So let's do my bit with the intention to better myself, to better my family, to better those around me, etc., etc., etc. Because some people react to hardship in a different way. And there's an ayah I came across, and I'm not even going to remember it, but I overheard it in maybe Mufti's lectures, and I was just like, oh, that's exactly what I was thinking. Where it was essentially saying, how different people react to hardship. So if the believer, if he when he's faced with hardship, it only brings him closer to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, right? And I've noticed that with people. For example, just briefly, there was a Vice documentary about Palestine or Gaza post the recent sort of oppression and bombing, etc. This brother of ours, he spent 33 seconds in the video listing all the family members he lost, right? And like, I got so upset seeing that. However, at the end of his list, he praises Allah, he says Alhamdulillah, right? 33 seconds, bro. He was listing literally everybody in his family. And I thought, let me see the comments, because Vice is Vice, isn't it? It's not Ilm Feed, it's not, you know, a Muslim news channel or whatever. The comments are a lot of them non-Muslims, and they just don't get it. They can't fathom how this guy has belief in God. They just couldn't figure it out. A lot of them are complaining like, oh, if I was this guy, I just don't know how I would do it. I don't know how his faith is so strong, etc., etc., etc. And that's a slippery slope to disbelief for Muslims as well. It's like, how can these bad things happen, etc. But then there's other people that they see that and it just increases them. You know, when I see that, and I'm not trying to praise myself, but it brings me closer to Allah, because I think this could happen to me. I need to be grateful for what I've got. This is a test, and for them it's a test and an expiation. For me, it could be a test and a punishment depending on how I react. So that's one thing I've learned. Ultimately, the gratitude is important. I spoke about that here. I spoke about that on the Freshly Grounded episode. Be more grateful. Focus on the potholes that you need to fill, because we all have them. Just be more conscious of your position in the Ummah, and how you look in the mirror, you are the Ummah. So what are you? You know, how are you? What is your condition? Anyway, went on a bit of tangent there.
Have you sorted out the gene yet?
Bro, I'm trying. Certain, like, it's quite easy on certain soil, because I'm like, okay, that's very clear. But others where it's quite entwined into the word, I'm still struggling. But akhi, it just goes to show that, like I went to the masjid yesterday, and this is really subtle, but it hit me really hard. Sitting there, brother comes in, and you don't realize the subconscious bias that you have in your mind, okay? And it's really bad, and you have to watch it. Someone, you know, all the brothers here have beards, okay? And it was only like 4 people praying Asia, because the masjid is really small, quite quiet. The new one that opened up, the imam starts leading. Imam's quite young; he's younger than me, and the brother comes in, maybe North African brother. I say brother, he's more of an uncle, and you know, he hasn't got a beard or anything. And your subconscious, which is really bad, will just make you think, oh, he's probably not too attached to the deen or whatever. Really, really bad. Shouldn't think like that at all. But there's something within us that we just judge people, right? And I'm not saying I actively engage in that judgment. It must have been really subtle. Anyway, the Imam, I believe, starts reading from Surah Al-Baqarah. He makes a mistake somewhere in the verse. And I didn't realize he made a mistake, obviously. Have I memorized? Of course I haven't. Other brothers didn't. That brother corrects him, the one I was talking about. And just in that prayer, bro, it felt like somebody just punched me. I swear to God, I felt like someone just punched me across the face with like a dose of reality. And it's just like, wow. Like, not that I judged him actively before, but when that happened, I was like, oh, what did I retrospectively thought, how did I think of him when he came in? And it really, like, I just admonished myself internally. Once again, I didn't actively judge him. I didn't actively think, oh, look, this brother's coming. It was just very, very vague and subconscious. And we do that all the time. You know, we see brothers in the masjid and we just assume maybe they're not linked to the deen as much as we think. Bro. And it really hit me. And I was just like, whoa, whenever somebody asks me, I'm the least person of knowledge, you know. In fact, the imam comes up to me because he's like, oh, I recognize you from somewhere. He must have seen me around. And he goes, oh, akhi, have you studied? And I was like, absolutely not. He goes, oh, mashallah, you look like you have. I was like, I look like I have? What does that even mean? You know, because I'm wearing a thobe and I've got a beard and a hat. But this is it.
Maybe so you've got a big head, bro.
Well, but can you see how it looks? Can be deceiving, obviously. He looked at me and thought I'd studied, you know. I looked at this brother and thought, well, he hasn't.
I think if someone told me that, I would check them right there, bro. What the hell kind of thing is that to say? You look like...
He goes, oh, you look like you have. I was like, I look like I have? SubhanAllah. Dangerous, bro.
For some reason, I never had that bias, that specific one. Maybe because I've just known far too many people who are like fully shaven and they're like very pious and they're always in the masjid. I mean, if you go to the masjid in Algeria, everyone's shaven. Like pretty much everyone.
Yeah, I think for me it wasn't the... I rarely, and unfortunately it's bad, I don't equate the hifth of the Quran with the everyday man, you know, the everyday layman. I've always equated the hifth with somebody who very much appears. I'm not saying he looked bad, of course he didn't.
Yeah.
But you know, if somebody who looks like me with the beard and stuff has barely memorized anything, then I've equated for somewhat. I've made a link in my head somewhere with somebody that has to look a particular way to have that heft, and it really frustrates me. And you know, I need to check myself because I remember actually once I don't know if I said it. I'm sure I said it last week. I was in Tunisia once, and some drunk guy started reciting the Surah Al-Baqarah to me, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm sure I said it." And I was just like, "Wow." Obviously, you know, not great, but also great at the same time. So. Yeah, it's about checking ourselves, checking our biases, and checking how we subconsciously judge people, and just taking that spotlight away from everyone else and putting it on yourself. And that's the important thing, isn't it?
Yeah. What's your next best?
Best. I got best book here.
Okay.
Oh yeah, best book: Lost Islamic History by Firas Al-Khatib.
Okay.
Bro,
How many books did you read in the last 12 months? One? Or more than one?
No,
hopefully.
I haven't read any. That's the only book I read. Everything else has been audiobooks, I think.
Okay.
And I haven't really finished them. I kind of dip in and out of different ones. I'm more of a lecture boy, bro. Listen to a lecture. Books takes too much commitment. But no, Lost Islamic History, I read it and I couldn't stop reading it. You know, I couldn't stop reading it. It was quite concise and quite... I'd say curated. It's a curated sort of collection of Islamic history in a chronological order, which is important. But it's a good starting point for Muslims interested in. Have you read it before?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I think ultimately, it's a good starting... Where is it? Is it here?
It's very good, bro. It's not long as well. The reason I trust it is because my friend who's a history geek, he said it's a good starting point.
Do we trust your friend though?
Well, I do.
I don't know where it is. I was going to bring it up. I've got books there. I can't see it anywhere. Allah Ghalib. Anyway, it's really nice. It's a really nice book. Really good book. I follow the brother on Twitter, and that's about it. I don't really engage with him too much on Twitter, but I just follow him on Twitter. So I think he's a history teacher.
Professor.
Teacher
or professor? He lives in America, I think. I remember thinking he's a professor in uni in America.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Professor teaches.
Very good that he took that upon himself to do that, because I mean, I remember back in the day, his tweets, I think, were like very popular. And maybe even on Facebook, you know, people were sharing, because what he would do is he write posts about little kind of unknown facts or whatever. And they would get shared around a lot, and then finally he wrote a book about the history. So I stopped seeing those things being shared as much, but definitely the book is solid. And I think he's got a blog with maybe all these little tidbits on it.
Yeah, he used to. I remember he had an Instagram, and he used to actually post pictures of, you know, visual representation of history, where there is artifacts or maps or etc. Illustrations. So. I think it's interesting. I think what it did was the biggest thing I learned from it is
Don't trust the
it's
Shia.
like no, that wasn't the biggest thing. The biggest thing I learned was it kind of represented the ayah in the Quran, where it's like tilka al-ayyam nudawiluha bayna an-nas, you know, and it's just like, wow, you complain, you know, we think about what's happening today, and you're like, well, this happened before. You know, this happened before that, and we've had high times, we've had low times, and it just keeps happening. And like, maybe you think like we have that bias of like the present day bias, where we're like, oh, this is it, this is how it is, this is where we are. It's 2021, America rules the world, etc., etc. It's like if people thought about Rome like that, you know. So when Allah Subhanahu wa Taala said "Ghulibat al-Rum," people were like, well, no, how is that going to happen? Do you know what I mean? Of course. How long were the Byzantines, etc., were ruling for in that sort of part of the world? It's not something new.
And then on the flip side, they might have said that about, like the Christians might have said that about the Muslims in Al-Andalus.
Yeah.
But then after 800 years, that crumbled.
See, this is it. So we do have that bias where we're like, oh, this is the way it's going to be forever now because we're here. This is it. That's what everybody must have thought in every time in their life.
Damn, bro. 800 years, that's like, is that like 12 people's lifetimes? That's if they live quite long.
Yeah. They probably thought, just like us, oh, it's always going to be like this. They're going to be, it's going to be 2021 and the Muslims are ruling over us. Do you know what I mean? They probably thought back then, in the year 2000, Muslims would have gone to space. But no, things change.
The UAE went to space, bro.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The space race would have been initiated by us.
Oh, Allah Mustan.
Allah Mustan.
What a shame. I mean, it's only space. It's only space.
Do you remember that fatwa from, I think it was Sheikh Saleh Al-Fawzan. I'm sure it was him. He was asked by someone, I want to paraphrase it all obviously, but he was asked, Sheikh, the kuffar are building all these rockets and they're all going to space, and what is the ruling on this? What is the hukm? Sheikh Saleh Al-Fawzan was like, just let them go. Let them go up there.
Maybe they won't come back.
Let them go to space. Oh man,
what kind of question is that? What ruling does he want?
I don't know, but I think people ask questions, don't they, about all sorts. Some people get a response which is like, this is an important question, why do you want to know the answer? Some people get a sarcastic response, some people get something a bit more eye-opening. I think for that, I think it's interesting because obviously there is ayat in the Quran regarding, kind of piercing the heavens and leaving this world sort of thing. What is the ruling there? But
oh yeah, I mean, if he's asking, like, is it permissible for us to go to space? Okay, that's an actual ruling he's asking about.
yeah.
But
I can't remember if it was like go to space or go to the moon. It might have been even go to the moon. Like, oh, they say they've gone to the moon. What is, what do you? It's like, let them go. Anyway, let's. It's 5 to 8. Oh my goodness! All right, we need to crack on.
yeah,
Have you got one?
my favorite book. I was looking through, because I don't know if I read one book in the last 12 months. I actually read. I think I listened to books. So I was looking through my Audible, and there weren't that many, to be honest. So I went for the Realm of the Hungry Ghosts, the book about addiction, the first book, not the one that focuses so much on the war on drugs, but just the one about addiction.
Yeah.
That was the best one. Very beneficial, well written, a little bit long, but too many books are too long. Like on Audible, so many books in my wish list are like 10 hours long, 14 hours long. I'm like, often I'll force myself through it, and I realize at the end that was 14 hours. It could have been 7 hours, would have been great, so it's a shame. Apparently publishers require a certain length for some reason, and so people fill it up,
Oh really?
Fill it up with extra bits and pieces.
Tomorrow's the 9th, bro.
Okay, what does that mean?
I've got a day off. Didn't realise. Just got pinged.
The best news of this year.
Oh man, that is best news. Speaking of best news, do we have like a best day? Do you do a best day?
I didn't do best day. I did best experience.
Go for it. Tell me
experience.
what your best experience is.
I mean, bro, like the last year, if you think about it, nothing happened too much, because when I was in UAE, I couldn't really go much places. Like I used to go Dubai regularly, and I couldn't really do that. So the biggest new experience was moving to Turkey for me.
Yeah.
Which obviously is quite a big one. It was a good experience, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. You're still experiencing it, that's the thing.
I am, I suppose.
Yeah, very much so.
Need to learn Turkish, man.
You can get away without learning it for a while.
Yeah.
Get that Google Translate out. God, we rely on technology a lot.
They
bro.
hate that, bro. They hate it. If they see Google Translate, they're just gonna say no.
Don't talk to
whatever,
me.
whatever you said, no.
Right.
You
Let's
did
go
favorite
on.
day?
Yeah, well, I did. I liked Eid, bro. I put Eid down. Eid was good.
This past day.
Yeah, because it'd been so long since we all family all got together, and my sisters and my auntie, they went all out, really all out, trying to
Yeah, I saw that video you sent.
deal and stuff, and it was like, it was nice, man, and there was no issues, and there was no, I'm not saying there ever really is any issues, but you know, just had a nice time. It was like, from start to end, it was good. Alhamdulillah. All my family
Shua?
pretty much there. Yeah, there was maybe a bit too much shua, bro.
Ruined
too
your
much.
calories for the day.
They definitely did that day, but I said it's Eid, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, Eid comes first. Yeah, it was nice, and the kids really enjoyed it, and they got lots of presents and stuff like that. And you know, I'm not saying COVID it was dreadful for us. It's dreadful for a lot of people, but for us, alhamdulillah, safety, security. Why should I complain? But it was nice to see the family again and have that reignited sort of gathering. But yeah, bro, that was my best day. I probably had some runners up, but I'm not 100% sure what they were. I think, yeah, runners up were going to be like when I started this new job role, and when the masjid opened up near me. That was a good day. It was a really good day, because I just did it blindsided me. I didn't know that there was going to be a masjid there at all. And if you were to know where I live, and to know the area that this masjid's in, you just wouldn't expect one. You hardly ever see Muslims here, so it's like, who is it for? And then the first Jummah there, it was packed. So I was like, where are they? You know, so it's crazy, bro. That's it. That's my best day.
I couldn't give a best day.
Every day is the best day for you, Akhi. Look at the blessings, bro.
I mean, it's kind of like that. Like, what could a best day even be? Like, when Eid was good.
Negative. Look at you, bro. Just acting all negative.
No, it's not negative. It's the opposite. It's like,
All right.
every day, alhamdulillah, is good.
Alhamdulillah.
You know, I don't know if I said this on the podcast. You know, something interesting maybe about me is I love breakfast. Right? I love breakfast, meaning I actually get excited for breakfast every single day. I don't know why, but I look forward to breakfast every day. So that means every day is good.
Wow.
Unless unless I'm fasting.
Have you had breakfast yet?
No. I always delay it.
What are you having? Like Turkish breakfast?
No, I have the same breakfast every day. Eggs and lebna. If it's like a special day, I add
You get
sujuk.
excited.
Yeah, bro. Exactly. But
How hungry do you go to bed? You just go to bed starving. Bro, I've noticed that though. With this whole thing, I go to bed quite hungry. I get hungry, I'm like, no, that's it. I've hit my target today. I'm going to bed. I wake up so hungry, bro. I'm like, I'm ready to eat. But, yeah.
And what do you have?
Generally, yeah, my go-to, because it's quick and it's easy, I fry an egg in like, you know that spray oil? That low-calorie thing. Fry an egg, 2 pieces of toast.
Okay.
Boom, that's it. No butter on the toast. Don't worry about that.
I'm firmly against this oil is bad thing. Oil is good.
Bro, I put in a little bit of oil and that flipping calorimeter shoots up the scale.
But isn't it that completely wrong way of thinking about health? Like, calories alone is not the issue. It's the type of food.
No, I think not necessarily. I mean, it depends. It depends what you're sort of focusing on.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's at the moment weight loss, so
Okay,
calories
so you
in.
need calorie deficit.
Yeah, that's it. It's the easiest. I've done all the other stuff. I've tried this diet. I've tried that diet. I've selected only eating this or only eating that, and none of it is long term enough for me. This is like I can eat whatever I want as long as I'm within my range. You know.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a give and take. So like if I'm like, oh, today I'm gonna go to such and such, and we're probably gonna eat something really sort of fancy. So I'm like, okay, well I'll calculate that in, and I won't really have anything else.
Yeah.
You know. But at least I've made that balance. It's some people, yeah, obviously there's some people that advise me that you can have you can develop quite a complex about food, etc. Other people swear by it, blah blah blah. Each their own. You know, if you feel like it's not right for you, then it's not right for you. I'm not saying I'm an expert. I've been doing it for about a month and I'm fine. You know, so I'm not bothered. And I feel like it's long term for me. I could do this for a long time. As in, I could track my calories for a long time, whether I'm in a deficit or not, whether I'm trying to gain weight or lose it or maintain. I don't really mind. I just find it interesting.
You know, in the 4-Hour Body, I never fully understood this, but Tim Ferriss is like, everyone says calories are calories are calories. And he said that's not true. He said it depends on the source of the calories. And I still don't understand that. But basically, you know, he's got his slow carb diet, which is like a really successful diet because it's so easy to follow. And it's kind of leaning towards keto, but it's not pure keto.
Right.
And, you know, keto sometimes can be heavy, right? So, for example, if one of the breakfasts that he recommends is eggs and beans. You know, beans are like probably very calorie dense, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure that would be high in calories, so you might say that's bad, but maybe it's the type of calories. Like, it's not carb calories, it's protein calories. Is that what he's suggesting? I don't know. I didn't fully understand that, but I guess generally I avoid carbs, and I don't avoid them that much, but I feel like I kind of eat whatever I want, but I like things that are kind of healthy, so it's not a problem. But I define healthy as not processed a lot. That's pretty much what I define as healthy. Like, you know, like I said, olive oil, I have loads of olive oil. I put olive oil on my eggs. I put olive oil on my, like, I'll cook with butter, and then I will put olive oil on the eggs, and then I will put olive oil on salad, and then I'll have, like, feta cheese with the salad. Again, it's like fat. And fat is good, like, especially fat, non-processed fat, you know, like, so I avoid, like, vegetable oil and stuff like that. But especially stuff from animals, like butter, lard, ghee, like, this stuff is good. Wait, is lard always pig? I don't know. But ghee's from cows. This stuff is good. And this guy, I met this guy, he's my good friend's brother-in-law. He did a whole degree in Chinese medicine and, like, I think it's like holistic healing or something like that. Yeah. He was telling me, like, people's health has deteriorated since this war on fat was started, and people started having margarine and stuff instead of the naturally occurring fats. So he was saying, you know, like when you, for example, chicken wings, very good source of fat because they've got so much collagen on them. If you cook that, all the oil will melt off it. That's good fat. So you want to eat that kind of stuff now and then. You want even lamb, you know, lamb is fattier than beef. Lamb fat is good. Ghee is good. Butter, cooking with butter. Like, this stuff is good, man. Obviously, you're right. You still have to have that element of the calories. You know, they are going to add up and make you increase weight. But I truly don't see it as an enemy. I see it as good. But obviously, everything is in moderation.
Yeah. So. There's only ever a few universal sort of truths when it comes to this sort of stuff because, you know, everyone's got an opinion. Every academic has got an opinion on what works and what doesn't, right?
Conflicting research and data, literally.
But there's only there's two. One point, which is the one you raised, which is good, is the processed food. Like, I think everybody unanimously agrees that processed food is bad, right? And I come from a family that avoided that anyway because my mother always cooked. You know, always cooked meals, like, alhamdulillah. But, you know, the whole family is just that's the way it is. We cook it from scratch, cook fresh. Second thing is, like, different things work for different people. You know, generally it depends what you want. So Tim Ferriss, this diet works for him. It won't work for me. Not because it won't actually physically work for me, like in terms of my body, but it's because of the way my life is planned out. If you got kids, you got wife, you got family, you're just constantly going to eat on your own, constantly going to eat your own thing. Constantly going to, oh wait, no, you guys have this and I'm going to have this. You know, it's not sustainable in that sense. For a lot of people, when they're responsible for themselves and themselves alone, then it's you know, do what you want kind of thing. You kind of have that flexibility.
For family, man. That's the whole thing. You could be because a coach for that, bro.
You have to carry your whole family with you on that.
Bro.
No, bro, no. Just like I said, you can eat what you want as long as it's. My mum used to say everything in moderation, always. My mum's biggest lesson to me, no matter what it was. You want to do anything you want to do, just do it in moderation. So.
I started this new rule recently, which is we don't buy any like ready-made dessert stuff that we bring home and eat. Right. So no biscuits, no chocolate, none of that. You can bring like flour and stuff home and make it, or you can buy fruit and eat that, obviously. But yeah, no pre-made dessert. If I go out and I have dessert, that's fine. But by the fact that I have to go out to buy it means I'm not going to do it as much.
It's a deterrent.
So I think that's a good one because you still have it. And honestly, homemade stuff is way better.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, bro. My missus, Allah barak. Bro, she made croissants. Croissant. Bro.
Yeah.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Really, really good stuff.
Yeah, had pancakes the other day.
Wow.
Pancakes, honey, fresh fruit on the top.
Oh.
My wife made cookies. Bro, cookies with loads of butter in it. I like that.
That's good. Oh, we're going to make the listeners hungry. Right, I think we need to wrap up because I've got to start work. We're doing it early today.
I'm going to Istanbul City today.
Wow. You're going to do a tour. Bro, take some videos. Listen, I'm demanding this now.
Okay.
The demand. Take a few videos, put them on a Mind Heist Instagram. All right. Some stories, put them on a Mind Heist Instagram.
Inshallah. Okay.
People want to see, bro. People. How many times do we get emails about Turkey? Oh, what is it like? And want to visit, and I want to make hijrah and all of this stuff. Give the people what they want, akhi.
Okay. Well, don't make hijrah to that part of Istanbul. That's the first thing.
Okay. Well, we can talk about it when you're there. How about that?
Yes, inshallah.
All right. Inshallah.
Okay. Give the last one. Let me see. I can't flipping open my thing. Okay. We just discussed best book, right? Okay, I'll do one more. You do one more. What's your next one?
Oh God. Oh, I did best trip.
Okay.
I went to a safari park in Longleat.
I've been there.
Oh yeah, and it's probably the only trip we did, to be honest. That's why it's the best one. But you know what? The most memorable thing about that whole trip was that I drove past Stonehenge and I wasn't expecting to see it.
Maybe think of all that UFO stuff.
Oh, bro, don't even get me started. Have you seen the news, bro? It's all over the place.
Yeah.
Told you. I said it. You heard it here first. But yeah, you turn that corner, you get on this big open field. And I was like, said to my wife, I was like, oh my God, it's Stonehenge. Didn't expect to see that there. And I was just fascinated that I saw that. Just because you just don't expect to see it. It's like driving around the corner and coming across the pyramids. You know, I was like, whoa, this is where it is? You know, subhanAllah. So yeah, that was it for me. The park was great. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, a lot of the animals were asleep. I don't blame them.
That's a shame.
I don't blame them. I mean,
bro, some of those I don't know which one it was, but I went to one of those safaris. There was one in Malaysia as well, like this, where you can feed them. Like you feed you know, when you're driving and they're around you.
Yeah.
Those are so sick. You can
That's
feed
what it was.
the giraffe. You feed the ostriches.
Oh, I didn't feed them, but
yeah,
we fed the giraffes.
In Malaysia, there was a big porcupine. Okay, its teeth are like proper dirty, huge teeth. You know, the front teeth like a beaver kind of thing. And you can feed it, but I'm thinking it's gonna munch my finger, man. It gave it a carrot, and it just took that nicely.
I got swarmed by ostriches, and one of them stood in the middle of the road, and the others like came by the window. I was terrified, bro. I was like, that beak is going to smash my window. It's going to be horrendous. They just stood there for ages, blocking my way. I felt like I was getting robbed.
What you got for me?
I know. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's everybody has their own political opinion about the zoos and stuff, but this was okay. This was nice. They were all open and open space, and they're getting fed, etc., etc. So
yeah, not probably all right. Okay, my best trip. You know, I didn't do trips. Just coming to Turkey. Maybe today will be the best trip. You know, we'll see.
Okay, we'll find out.
Last one.
Last
Damn,
one.
the only one I've got is your best YouTube channel.
Oh, Mind High's podcast. No,
Maybe.
oh,
I
sorry.
can't. I can't say.
see how
That's
it
not
is.
fair. What I put down was, okay, you know, for this cooking stuff, I put Adam Ragusia. He does obviously like the whole recipe stuff, but really unique and interesting stuff is, I think it's once a week he does a video on something like more about food culture or food science or food history, you know, stuff like that, which
Yeah.
is just interesting, you know.
Oh yeah.
I saw one he did yesterday, why food is never blue. So
Oh,
I
wow,
don't
that's
know, just the curious person in me enjoys that stuff. And his voice is so good, bro. I know I can get my voice like that. He edits it sick. So, and when you open one of the videos, yeah, you're going to notice straight away his voice is just so clear, and I don't know what he does with it.
Oh god, there's adverts. There's adverts on every video now.
Yeah.
Let me see. It's just, we have to wait for this advert, bro. I'm not even going to say what the advert is. They didn't pay me. They're sponsored by them.
Yeah.
Go away. Go away. Here we go.
Notice that food, at least naturally occurring food, is rarely blue. Some people would argue that it's never blue.
I wonder why there's no blue food.
I love you and I miss you, George.
Did it hit you?
I think these are blue. Yeah, those
Bro,
Did
you're
it
going
hit
to
you?
do. What hit me?
No, the voice clarity.
Oh, maybe because I haven't got headphones in, or I'm not listening to it on like a proper speaker.
Yeah. So that's a good one.
Why is it full blue? Well, that's me.
That's all I got. I just picked that one. I guess there are plenty of others, but I haven't been, you know, like for example, Hadith Disciple, have not been watching that too much. But you know what? You've made me think maybe on Fridays I should listen to his khutbah, because the Turkish khutbah is not doing much for me.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, isn't it? You know, I went to a particular Jummah khutbah the other day, and it was just like read off a piece of paper, and yeah, not that the message wasn't good. Of course, the message was good, but it's like, yeah, this could have hit harder. But alhamdulillah.
I mean, you know, in UAE, all the khutab, they're written, you know, you have to read it word for word. I think it's the same here. But it's good. Last week it was about don't وَلَا تَلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَةِ, don't destroy yourself. And then it was talking about smoking. And, you know, in Turkey, I was surprised they let him do that. People throw stuff at him. That's what I was thinking. Because so many people smoke here. But apparently 100,000 people die a year in Turkey from smoking-related diseases. Then the like 2 or 3 before that was all about like what's it called? You know, Gaza, Al-Aqsa, how important Al-Aqsa is, Sham, Allah giving victory, all this stuff. So I'm glad it's got a way more relevant feeling to it. Whereas in UAE it was more just like just let them do this Jumu'ah thing that they want to do, you know.
Oh no. Allah yahdi ma khalaq.
But I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes I don't want I don't believe in the every week like a fiery khutbah about the latest current thing. You want something sometimes about like, you know, how to pray properly and how to do wudu. I do believe in that, definitely. But then sometimes you need both, basically, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is episode 118. This is sponsored by Confidence Accelerator. Remember, you can go to muslimmastery.com/mind. Just click the link in the description and see if it's a good fit for you. Again, sometimes confidence just holds people back from doing what really could be so rewarding for them, yani in terms of satisfaction and in terms of in the akhirah reward, literal reward. So check that out. I know Muhammad personally, it'll be very good, inshallah. And as well, you can go to mindhousepodcast.com, send us questions, comments, etc. I think next episode we're going to have to do some heavy question and answer because we got a lot built up.
Yeah.
And with that, subhanakallahumma bihamdik, shadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. On to my breakfast.
Oh, enjoy. Assalamu alaikum.